This episode of Nintendo Expansion Pass is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better. Hello everybody, welcome to the Nintendo Expansion Pass here on Boss Rush Games. I'm your host and Lights Excited Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello, it is time to talk about numbers, everybody's favorite subject.
Yes, we are charting the course on this episode. I gotta say that the February NPDs for United States is not out yet. But I do have Japanese charts, and these are some very interesting numbers, Corey, for this one. So, it seems that, Kirby has taken the top spot, with Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. It did another good week, 62,581. So right now it's at 251,612 copies. Wolong Fallen Dynasty on PS5 did 30,132. Pokemon Scarlet did 24,592. There is at 4,908,398 copies. So it's pretty much probably next time we do this or talk about this game would hit 5 million.
That's too many. It's too many.
Yes.
Who's buying this much Kirby? Stop it.
No, I'm talking about Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon. Who's buying this much Pokemon? Sorry, I thought you were still on Kirby.
No, not yet. Wolong Fallen Dynasty for PS4 did 17,699 copies. Room Factory 3 Special did 16,627. Number 6, Splatoon 3 did 14,766. So it's at 3,918,766 physical copies. So it's a chance to hit 4 million by next week or the next time we read this. Octopath Traveler 2 did 14,085 additional copies. So now it's at 68,080 copies. Now that's only for Nintendo Switch. We don't have numbers for PlayStation at all for Octopath Traveler 2. For PS5, Hogwarts Legacy did 13,449 additional copies. So now it's at 139,535. And just to let everybody know, this is only Japan only. Number 9, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did 10,295, and right now it's at 5,183,660 copies for Japan.
This game, Mario Kart is so every time I'm like, oh my gosh, who keeps buying it? Who doesn't own it at this point?
I really don't know. And the thing about it, Corey, is that Mario Kart was released on April 28th of 2017. That's going, like, next month will be the 6th year that this game has been on the NPD. That's insane.
I mean, I'm aware. It's just like this game just keeps selling. Why does it? I mean, it's what like 54 million now or something.
Yeah.
It's too many. Don't get me wrong. I love Mario Kart. I will go to my grave saying Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart. But man.
Yes, and last but not least, Metroid Prime Remaster, which released on March 3rd, did 7,960 copies. So that's not bad because of course Metroid doesn't do well in Japan, and since it released at a different time, because it just released for Japan and for Europe, uh, I can see hopefully this game doing some really good numbers. Once I think I would give it to April to see what is everybody's numbers. From America, Japan, and Europe. For console wise in Japan, PlayStation 5 is still number one. Switch OLED model is number two. PlayStation 5 digital is three. Switch is four. Switch Lite is five. PlayStation 4 is six. Xbox Series X is seven. Series S is eight. And new 2DS LL including the regular 2DS, is at number nine.
Who's still buying a 3DS?
66 people who is still buying it.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/BossRushMedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.
So that is the current charts in Japan for right now. We don't know what Kirby has done in America just yet, and Metroid we don't know what's done in America just yet. Hopefully, we may not get numbers to them because, like, since they are released at a different time, we don't know if there's going to be like a couple more weeks before we get numbers for America
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
So uh once again Nintendo is steamrolling with their first party and some of their third party outings. Switch is still selling good, and I feel like as long as Switch, yes, Switch gets try to take number one, but I have a feeling if Switch takes number two and then it'll actually switch with PlayStation 5, I think if that thing continues to sell more, I think it'll hit that 155 mark in no time soon. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
like we got Breath of the Wild, so and then some other games, and we don't know if this like I said, we don't know if there's going to be special editions, and some people are trading in their old Switch to get a OLED version. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I mean, I still have my launch Switch, but it's downstairs in a box. It's in the box because I don't trade it. I don't trade in my Nintendo consoles.
Mm,
The only the only two consoles I don't have my original console of are the um my 3DS. I don't have my launch 3DS because it was ugly and dumb and I wanted the 2DS and it's much better. Also I don't care as much about Nintendo handhelds as I do the consoles really. And then my Wii because my launch Wii melted in a house fire, so I have a second Wii.
mm,
Um, but all my Nintendo consoles I have still, and I bought my OLED because I figured it was going to be my primary one. But honestly, depending on what Nintendo's next console does, right? Because there's that rumor that it might not be backwards compatible, which is going to be super annoying. Uh, I might trade my OLED in for the next console and keep my launch one just in a box, you know.
mm,
Um, not that I don't love my OLED console, I do. I just I like having my launch console. I don't know. I probably won't get rid of any of I probably won't get rid of my OLED unless I'm in like dire straits to buy something, like but even then I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just trade in my PlayStation 5 because I've played it like for a total of 20 hours since I bought it and I just don't care about it. I wish I did. I don't. I've actually thought about getting rid of it, but what if something comes out that I want to play that's PlayStation exclusive, like another Horizon game? Then I'll be like, "Ugh." That's the thing. Horizon Forbidden West is actually the game that's keeping me from getting rid of my PlayStation 5 because I want to play it. And I played the first few hours of it because I wanted to like do it, whatever. But yeah, I don't care about PlayStation at all. Like I just don't. I wish I did. I really truly wish I did. And not that I don't care about franchises on PlayStation. Like I love Uncharted and Horizon. I like God of War, although these new games have kind of softened me on the franchise. I really think the new one's just really boring. Uh, you know, I don't care about The Last of Us really. Spider-Man really didn't do anything for me. Although Wolverine's coming, and people following me know Wolverine's one of my favorite characters, so that'll be one that I'm
The question about Wolverine is that going to be a first party game exclusive to Sony?
Insomniac's making it.
Okay,
hmm Yeah, it's a Sony. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
I'm surprised that one won't be out first before Spider Man 2.
Well, Spider-Man's been in development already for a long time, right?
Mhm.
So,
Which kind of reminds me, uh, from Nintendo. Like, I know we talked about they're not going to be at E3, and um, they'll probably have their own direct with Metro Prime 4 probably being showed off. I kind of want to ask you, how are we thinking about the summer games charting? Um, like, do you think that they're going to do very well this summer?
yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think so. I think that whole trope of summer games don't do well is over. You know,
mhm.
I really do. Especially because so many games are coming out this summer, like Final Fantasy and Pikmin, and what's Nintendo's June game? Um, I forget, but yeah, I mean that stigma is gone. I think for the most part.
Yeah, cause I wonder, you know, with Nintendo probably having a really big presence, um,
hmm
game wise,
hmm
this summer just from the Nintendo Direct. I kind of wonder like how are we going to look, because at this point in time we know Microsoft doesn't do physical copies or anything. I mean physical numbers anymore.
Yeah. By the
Um,
way, I'm gonna ask, and this episode will be out way after the episode of well, no, they'll probably be out the same week for everybody. But I'm asking Yacht Club's marketing director why Shovel Knight is not on Xbox, the spin-off games. Shovel Knight Dig and Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon are not on Xbox.
are they on PlayStation?
Yeah, they're on everything except for Xbox. And I'm going to ask that question why. And maybe I'm part of the problem because I didn't buy the Xbox version of Shovel Knight, but um, I'm gonna ask because
Well,
and Shovel Knight didn't get a physical copy on Xbox.
I think it's um probably indies don't do big business on Xbox. Uh,
I know, but
in a
that's
sense.
I think, man, that really bothers me. I'm really confused at why stuff isn't coming to Xbox because I don't know. I think I've made the transition to being primarily an Xbox gamer in the last
Hmm.
couple of years. I mean, don't get me wrong, Switch is great. I buy everything on Switch too, but like I don't know, I just prefer the Xbox ecosystem over I would say over PlayStation, right? If we're just comparing those two since
Hmm.
with the Xbox deal, they only like to compare themselves to each other and not Nintendo. uh but yeah, I don't know. Where were we going with this? I don't even remember.
Well, it's looking at the summer games,
Oh
how
right.
we think how they're gonna chart and stuff. Um,
I don't know. I think they'll chart fine.
because I know like Pikmin, uh, 3,
Pikmin.
even though that was like a port and stuff, I think it did fairly well. Uh, and stuff. So I I'm just kind of wondering, um, like when we look at what they're going to be offering to us, uh,
Yeah.
how that's going to look and stuff. Because surprisingly, I think Nintendo has it easier this spring and this summer, and trying to see where games land at on places and stuff. It's going to be like not difficult,
Hmm.
but it's going to be kind of interesting to see what comes and what goes, what stays.
Hmm.
And with the way that, Microsoft is going to be releasing games, I don't know if they're ever going to be on the list. I don't know if PlayStation is going to
Uh,
be
Xbox
have a
games
big
haven't been
list.
on NPD in forever, right?
Well,
I mean,
yes, yes, true. But I think it's more of like after Redfall, we won't have nothing to Starfield.
mhm. And
So it's
that's a problem too, though, right? I mean, that's what we've talked about with Microsoft forever. Is that that's just a problem in general for Microsoft is getting games out, and
yeah.
hopefully, like, I mean, the thing is too is like Starfield was technically just delayed too, right? So even though they never really had an official release date, they kind of said first half of 2023, right?
Mm.
So I think like I think Microsoft the thing about Starfield getting delayed is I think Microsoft and Bethesda both know that a lot is riding on Starfield in terms of the Xbox ecosystem. Yeah, Redfall
Yes.
is coming out, right? Probably a lot riding on that game too, but like Starfield is the next big Bethesda Game Studios game, right? And if that game's any less than great, people are going to talk about what's going on over at Microsoft, right? What's going on over there? You know, what is going on over there?
Well, it's gonna be like is Hellblade gonna be uh mm, I think it's Hellblade. It's Hellblade 2 gonna be its savior in a sense because like when we look at it,
Hellblade is the first game that I think people are pointing to and being like, if Microsoft wants to make a Sony style game, that's the game people are pointing to, right? Whether it's
mm,
fair or not, whether it's they're really trying to do that or not, like I don't know, but I really think that that's important for Microsoft is to like really get these games right. And I'm 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 worried about that ecosystem. Like not to the point where I'm going to start saying, "Oh, Microsoft's going to start shutting down Xbox," but like
right.
I mean, look how many things PlayStation did wrong at that at the launch of the console and people are still buying it in droves. Why? Because of the games, right? Because they have a some sort of magical way of saying that hey, our games are great. Our console can be garbage or not run backwards compatibility or you know do things that Microsoft isn't doing right, but we have games, so that makes everything else okay, right?
Mm,
And I'll probably get some flack calling PlayStation garbage. That's not what I mean. I mean like their backwards compatibility system is super lackluster. I think
it's
PlayStation
super
Plus.
backwards.
I don't think PlayStation Plus premium or extra are worth the um what do you call it the extra headaches that you have to go through to get games that aren't at least good to great, right? I don't think that service is as good as they want it to be. I think I don't know. I just I don't know. I'm really pulling for Microsoft to do things um and I just think and like the way that Microsoft or that Sony is acting for this Activision Blizzard acquisition is has
Mm,
been really childish, to be honest. Not that Microsoft isn't doing anything or saying things either, because they are, to try to get this acquisition to go through, and they're saying anything they can. But like, I don't know, Sony just feels like, in the grand scheme of things, it kind of feels like Sony's the bad guy and Microsoft's the good guy, and you're just rooting
in
for the underdog almost.
in
Uh,
this in this sense, it is, and the reason why I kind of I say that, this is not nothing to do with Jim Ryan or anything, is that
Crying Jim.
is that
Did you
with
see his quote the other day? By the way,
which one?
the one where he's like, he said, "I don't want a deal for Call of Duty. I just want to block your merger,"
Oh yeah,
which is
yeah, I
like,
seen that.
I'm like, dude, what are you, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
I,
well,
mm,
this this is the thing about it, is that because I know a lot of people are tired of this whole deal thing, and I think people want Sony to get back into focusing on getting games out for this console. You know,
yeah.
you made the console more available. So now there should be more, the games are important that should be coming out
Mhm.
and
And
everything.
the
You know,
thing too on that point, Ed, is like, everybody's kind of pointing at Microsoft and asking where their games are. The only games announced for PlayStation are Spider-Man, Wolverine, and the unnamed Factions game from The Last of Us, and none of them have release dates. So like, we know just about as much from Sony as we do from Microsoft in terms of release dates, and
it
and they don't get the same like, whatever. And I get that they've put games out at a more consistent basis, but like, their their roadmap, it doesn't exist either. you
and
know.
and and I know PSVR 2 has came out, but man,
Yeah,
I'm
but who's
seeing
talking about it?
it's dude, I'm seeing more ads for Metroid Prime remaster on YouTube and other places. Like, even before you start a video, whether it's like gaming or something, Nintendo has that spot. So Nintendo is not focusing on whatever all the other companies are doing. Even when Jim Ryan said that, made that statement about Nintendo, I'm like, Nintendo is like, they're focusing on making, doing their business, making sure that games are out, trying to get people to be like, hey, you know, we got this game. If you're still interested, just look, just hear what everybody's saying. Like, they're,
Mhm.
Nintendo is in marketing mode right now because they have games and stuff planned. You
Yeah,
know, and
I kind of like, it's just kind of funny that Nintendo's just kind of like sitting over in the corner, like eating their popcorn, watching Microsoft and, and Sony kind of do their thing, because it's like, well, here they go again. Let's see what kind of tragic, awful, childish things come out of this conference, this thing.
and Nintendo said, they be like, we got our 10-year deal. I'm like, what are we worried for?
But Nintendo, the thing is Nintendo didn't ask for it. Like,
Exactly.
Nintendo doesn't care. Nintendo cares about Nintendo games, and anything else that comes out on the Switch, they're like, okay, we'll take 30%, I guess, or 30%, I guess.
I
you
think
know?
probably.
Yeah, the split 70-30. I don't know what I was talking about. But like, they're like, yeah, well, if you sell 10 copies, we'll take your $30, I guess. I don't know. It's
It's it's just weird in the fact that, you know, because I have the list that we did from the Nintendo Direct. So I'm skipping March, April, and I'm gonna start with May because May has Tears of the Kingdom. That's May 12th. June is the Ancient Odyssey collection. We Love Calamari Reroll, Master Detective Archive, Raincoat, Harmony, The Fall of Revere. Um, July is Disney's Illusion Island.
Mhm.
August is Pikmin 4, Sea of
No,
Stars.
Pikmin's in July also. Isn't Pikmin in July?
Pikmin is in July, yes. I forgot I didn't change that. Uh, Goodness, I need to change
What are
that.
you doing, Ed? What are you doing?
Sea of Stars is August 29th. Uh, and then we got the Summer de Amigo. Um, We got Ghost Trick that's dropping. I can't wait for that. Um, let's see. There's Fire Emblem stuff. We got Beta and Kalos 1 and 2 HD remaster in summer. So we kind of got like a lot of great stuff that is dropping in the summer and everything. For us to chart and just see how well they do. And some of the games might just also be digital only, but it's a full summer of great games
Hmm.
and trying to place where they're at because I'm just like, you know, what's what is Microsoft and Sony going to do? Well, I won't say Microsoft. What is Sony going to do to like get on the charts? What is Microsoft going to do to showcase these are the leading games on Game Pass? You know,
Hmm.
I would love to see Game Pass charts from Microsoft. If we're not going
I
to,
wonder if they'll ever do that. And I don't think they will. I think they like
mm-hmm,
their, hey, our vague active user thing. We have 32 million subscribers to Game Pass. We'd like to have more, but you know.
right? Because I don't know. I literally feel here in America, um, we don't we rather make lists of great games than looking at charts, looking at numbers for games
Mhm.
and stuff, you know. Uh and so definitely with level 5 coming back, like that's going to be very big to us in America. Like a lot of people are who love level 5 games and miss them. A lot of people like me said that they're going to go support because they want to see level 5 in here, and if Nintendo is helping them to bring those games here, come on, let's do it. Let's get these games. And definitely if some of them are coming to Sony platforms also, S- Sony needs to be marketing to be like, hey, we also got these great games that Nintendo has.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. I just remember when games were simple. I just
yeah.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I think about everything that we do, and I wonder what it's like to be just the normal person who doesn't know any of this stuff is going on. And they're just like, I'm just going to go into the store, look and see what they have, maybe walk over to the clearance or the $20 bin. Oh, this game looks interesting, and we'll play it for whatever, and we'll just not even care what's going on. So,
I think I think definitely with me working in the retail, it's having customers that is like that, who just
yeah.
want to come into the store to see what it is. They don't care about the gaming news or stuff like there. Uh, but I know for us from the retail perspective, like us employees, when I was in
Yeah.
electronics, I had to be informed, you know, and I
Mhm.
can't make decisions for customers, but I was just like, well, it has all these pros, these are the cons. Whatever it satisfy you that you're leading to, that is the game that you want to make that purchase. The only thing I just we recommend you is to know that this is the rating, and this game is for this console. Nintendo doesn't make this game for this console. Nintendo only makes stuff for Nintendo and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. Man, I gotta say though, Nintendo's got a pretty strong year this year.
Yeah, it's just now the fall is like kind of the concerning part because like what are we going like and I know I said that if Sony and Microsoft, if Nintendo doesn't have a big fall, that is okay because I think they have so much just for the spring and the summer
Mhm.
that I think Microsoft and Sony need to do some work to cover everything, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I think, it's just like there's a lot of games that people can pick on a Nintendo console. Because shoot, I think these games that's coming on the Switch, that's going to just help sell more games. Of course, Final Fantasy 16 is the big one for Sony, but
Mhm.
that's going to be like how many sales do that system have to have to make Final Fantasy 16 be a really big seller where it's not disappointing to Square Enix?
Right, but also, like, Sony's probably paying for a lot of that development cost too, right?
Hmm.
So, I don't know, I feel kind of I don't know. I mean, look, if Final Fantasy 16 doesn't sell well, Square did something wrong, right? That's my thing. I think I think Final Fantasy 16 is gonna be a huge thing for Square, right? I don't know, I still feel really weird about all these games not coming to Xbox also, especially with, PlayStation making that big claim that, you know, I don't know, Microsoft wants to hold games from them, and then they turn around and hold these games from Microsoft. I don't know, uh, but I would be shocked if Final Fantasy 15 didn't sell well. I don't think it's a Forspoken situation at all, right? Um, Although I think Forspoken might be more interesting than people maybe giving it credit for. I don't know, but
I feel like Forspoken. I think if it would have came out to Series X, I think it would have sold more.
I mean, I don't think it would have sold really uh that much more, but I think that Sony is or I think that Square is trying to do something interesting and but also I think that was the last remnants of a uh what do you call it? A Square that was trying to do stuff like they've been trying to Square's been on this path of trying to like refocus themselves and I think this was the
Hmm.
last kind of uh I think Forspoken was the last game where it was almost an unfocused Square, if that makes sense.
For the developers.
Yeah. And I think that Square is in a much better place now. I mean, Tomb Raider might not be, but Square is, I think. So, man,
Well,
just
Square.
talk about a franchise that I'm really worried about is Tomb Raider. Man,
Yes, that.
I hope Amazon and Embracer know what they're doing. That's all I can say. I hope that I hope that Crystal Dynamics still gets to make them.
Hmm.
Oh man, if Crystal Dynamics is not making the next Tomb Raider, I'm gonna be really oof. Or
I
even IDOS Montreal at that point too.
Well, that's I wonder, will Crystal Dynamics uh do something for Nintendo? Do you think you will see them next year?
No, no. I mean,
Really?
you might see Tomb Raider possibly if they come out close enough, but I I don't know. I want it depend. I mean, it depends on what Nintendo's next console is, right? I mean, that could be a conversation for next gen Nintendo, but I think that I think that Nintendo is always so underpowered, and despite how successful Switch is, like some companies still just refuse to make AA and AAA games for the console,
Yeah.
and it has to do with Nintendo's power, and yeah,
And I gotta say, Crystal Dynamics did do Guardians of the Galaxy for Switch, even though it's cloud.
it was Eidos
Um,
Montreal.
I thought that was Crystal Dynamics. Oh, it was
Mm,
Eidos. Okay.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, the cloud stuff's not going to cut it either. Is not that's not what people want primarily, right? I mean, that's
Hmm.
been proven time and time again already. That is not what people want. They want cloud to be an option when you're away from your console, not the primary way you play the game. And I mean, not that that stuff doesn't work, but I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but the Resident Evil 7 cloud stuff is going away on Switch. Like, what happens to the people that bought that game, right?
Oh, the one in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, some people presumably spent $60 on that game and now they just can't they don't have access to it anymore. Like
But then that's the same thing with live online servers, like live service
I
games.
mean, that's also true. Like, I think about that all the time with Destiny, right? Like, I spent all this time and energy and money in Destiny, and one day, like, granted, hopefully not soon, but someday I'm not going to be able to play Destiny. I mean, there's
Mhm.
already parts of Destiny you can't play, right? So, I mean, your disc, if you have a Destiny disc, you might as well just throw it away because it's useless, you know?
Right, shoot, that's the same thing with like the Avengers when they said it was ending the service, but then they put the game on sale. Like,
Well, the game will still be, you'll still be able to play it. They're just stopping the online serve. I think you're still going to be able to play it. I think.
hmm.
But again, maybe I'm just I don't maybe I'm just talking talking now. I have no idea.
Well, I think seeing what is going to be coming for Switch, um, for the future, I think it's going to be really interesting. Um, I kind of wonder if we'll get to 130 by May for Tears of the Kingdom. Excuse me, sorry about that.
Whoa.
For the system,
Whoa.
uh, it'll be interesting to see. Are there going to be some indie games that actually help it? Like if Six Song happens to drop, I wonder what that number would be. Uh, and I kind of wonder, like, if will we see anything from limited run games? Because the thing with limited run games, even though we can't chart them or anything, when we see a lot of their stuff sold out for Switch, which makes people get the PS4 version and stuff, that kind of tells you, okay, this game probably is going to be doing good, unless there is more, uh, like they do a restock or something in everything.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting. Uh, I will say I am interested to see how the summer turns out for Switch for games, like where they're going to be landing at.
Hmm.
Um, I think I'm not so concerned for America. I think I just want to see how the stuff does in Japan
Yeah.
and everything. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, I guess. It's just I think Zelda is definitely going to take over, and
Hmm.
I know the rumor is that Nintendo doesn't have a lot for this fall, which is why they're not going to E3. But I think they're going to have a lot more than people think. you know, I think I think you're going to see a lot of ports. Honestly, I think
Hmm.
you're going to see a lot of kind of Metroid. I think you're going to see the other two Metroid games for sure. I actually at this point wouldn't be surprised if you saw some sort of like one of the Zelda ports come out this fall. I
I
still don't
agree.
think they're going to put it out in the same year as Tears of the Kingdom, but they might if they don't have anything. What's to stop them?
Right. And
That's
like with us not knowing how what is going to happen with Mario or even Pokemon, it's just like
yeah.
we need something.
I think at this point, you're gonna. I think at this point, Mario is. I don't think you're gonna see a new Mario game until the next gen. Like maybe you'll see
Hmm.
like a new 2D Mario, but like the next mainline Mario game, I don't think you're gonna see until the next console. Uh, and whatever comes out this year is just gonna be small stuff. Whether it's new or not, I don't know, but I think whatever's next, you're just gonna wait for a little bit to see what's next.
And I wonder if Bethesda or ZeniMax and Microsoft going to try to do something for Nintendo.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Is like third parties and we've kind of seen what Microsoft wants to do. I don't know
Hmm.
what's going to happen, but I think there are some things that are going to happen that are I would say interesting. So we'll
Yeah,
see. We'll see.
we
We
shall
shall
see.
see. Ha.
Well, Corey, should we call that a wrap?
I suppose we should. I suppose yes.
All right. Well,
I, f-
everybody,
I feel like I rambled a lot that episode.
Well, everybody, that's gonna be it for charting the course for this expansion pass. Hopefully you guys, if you want to check the numbers, you can go to nintendolife.com. They have um the Japanese chart on their website in their news section, so you can check it out. um this is really impressive to see, and I think it was a really good talk to see how Nintendo is doing and what they'll probably be doing in the future. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Nintendo Expansion Pass is part of Nintendo Power Block and is a product of Boss Rush Media LLC. The show is recorded from our headquarters in Akron, Ohio, and is hosted by me, Edward Varnell. My co-host is Corey Deary. You can find Corey at I am Corey at HD on Twitter and Instagram, as well as hosting the Boss Rush Podcast and Tower Casuals, the Destiny Podcast. Follow Expansion Pass as part of Nintendo Power Block and on all social media platforms at Power Block Podcast. You can also follow Boss Rush Media and Boss Rush Network on all major social media platforms. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord and Facebook groups to interact with other friends and fans. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.